Welcome to Cultivating Contentment. We are on week 5, day 3 of our study, and this week's topic is the verdict. And so remember, we started yesterday talking about Jonah, and we're going to continue that conversation today. So our verse for today comes from Jonah 4, verse 2. So he complained to the Lord about it. Didn't I say before I left home that you would do this, Lord? That is why I ran away to Tarshish. I knew that you are a merciful and compassionate God, slow to get angry and filled with unfailing love. You are eager to turn back from destroying people. So my question today is, what would Jonah rather have seen done? And does he have a right to try and thwart God's plans? And does he have a right to be angry? So you'll need to go and reread verse 1 and maybe the first few verses of Jonah to get a feeling for what's going on with Jonah. So our quote for today comes from Marilyn Meberg. If my mind becomes cluttered by the day's annoyances, it's a given that sooner or later I'm going to lose my self-control. For sure, I'm going to lose my joy. I hate losing my joy. Fortunately, I have a choice how I react. And I really like this because it really is a choice. Being joyful is a choice. We can choose to have that joy, or we can choose to not have that joy. So earlier this week I talked about the difference between happy and joy, and where happy is just an emotion that's in the moment, and joy is kind of a state of heart. It's something that's deep within us, and we can be joyful in any circumstance. We might not be happy about the circumstance. We might not be happy about the situation we're going through, but we can choose to approach it with joy. Joy is something I think that comes from that deep relationship with Jesus. I think he's what fills us with joy, and it goes way beyond just an emotion. Like happy is just an emotion. So we are halfway through the week, so this is kind of our little midweek check-in. So every parent or nursery worker has faced the struggle of trying to calm a cranky child. We've all been there. There are those children who are simply looking for comfort. They will clutch a teddy bear, take a pacifier, melt into a warm hug, and consent to be rocked to sleep. But little can be done for the child who does not wish to be comforted. Some are screamers, shrilly announcing their displeasure to the world. Some are soft weepers, with downturned mouths and steady streams of tears coursing from their wide, sad eyes. Some are kickers, twisting and lashing out at anyone who tries to give comfort to them. Some are sulkers, and they withdraw themselves to a corner or under a table to wait out their ordeal. When your Heavenly Father finds you in a cranky mood, are you ready for his comforting embrace? Do you allow his love to melt away the tension, the disappointments, and the anger? Or are you like the strong-willed child lashing out against his gentle touch, or withdrawing for a long, lonely sulk? And I'll be honest here, I think that I tend to be the the one that just goes off and sulks and tries to self-comfort myself. I don't really want to have someone else try to comfort me. It kind of makes me mad, I think. And I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it is. So our questions for today, question 5, even after some serious chastisement, the Israelites continue to whine and complain. This time, God teaches them a lesson by giving them exactly what they asked for. What does the Lord say in Numbers 11:20? And then question 6, those who continue to flaunt their disobedience in the face of God will suffer the consequences. What is the final verdict over the murmuring masses in Numbers 14:29? So we're continuing to see what's happening out there in the desert with the whiners, complainers, murmurers. So I look forward to reading your responses, And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and blessings to you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.